Well, hello there. How are you doing? Well, I am home a bit early. Uh, so, tried to go live earlier today. Didn't work out. You probably got notification but didn't see the video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, uh, anyway, as I was saying this morning, me trying to recollect exactly what I had said for the intro, this wonderful conversation, because we just do this because reasons, with a person who is or is not or may not be Mr. DeRoy Cruz, our life applications officer, maybe not. Kind of depends on how he's feeling. So we're going to discuss God's morality versus the good atheist, whatever the hell that is. Yes, it is Mr. Cruz, Mr. DeRoy Cruz, your life applications officer. So, we're going to talk today about God's morality versus the good atheist. So, I'm expecting a few things. I've not actually sat and listened to any of this. I literally just came from a biochemistry lecture because I need to know what's in the cup. It may be coffee or it may be H2O. Or do I have to look at the individual molecules to see if it's... Yes, actually you do, Mr. Cruz, because you might be drinking hydrogen peroxide because it looks almost exactly the same as water, so it would help to actually look at the molecules, but you gotta do all that. Anyway. Maybe we will get to actually hear a little bit of philosophy, because us evil atheists, we don't have a basis for our morality, or so I've been told by a particular person. So it's not like there have been ethical and meta-ethical conversations literally happening for almost thousands of years now. Thousands of years. It's not like there's an entire school of thought around that sort of thing at all whatsoever. That doesn't exist. There's only God's morality because... let's not forget a few things, folks. Let's not forget a few things. Christianity was the first religion, and everything else kind of came from that. That's a little bit of revisionist history we learned from Mr. Cruz. Where the fuck the Jews come from, nobody knows. The Sumerians might have something to say about that. So do Chinese and Indians and everyone else in that part of the world who existed for hundreds of years, literally hundreds of years before any Christian ever existed. Anyway, we also need to remember that Mr. Cruz is not a victim. He just gets persecuted a lot in life and on the internet, and he's being bullied, but he is not a victim in any way, shape, or form. Remember that. And also remember, this is not a conversation. He is not responding to me. My name is nowhere to be found. You have to change some letters around in order to get dragged. You might get Dragnauct if you're lucky. I don't think there are any U's. No, there are no U's. So he is not referencing me in any way, shape, or form, too. Let's all remember this as we're watching this video, because we're all stupid. So, with that being said, let me roll the intro. All right. Wolf King's ass for trying to copy me in perpetuity. Well, hello there. How are y'all doing today? God, there's a lot of motherfuckers in Discord today. Oh, some of my favorite people, too. I just noticed that. Anyway, how are y'all doing today? I don't know what the fuck's going on with the bot. Y'all broke it. I don't know. It might work. It might not work. So, y'all gonna have to deal with it. You'll be alright. You're here for me. You're not here for that bot. That's all I am? Am I a joke to you? Is that what this is? Maybe. Wait, I told my daughters that they would have those points if something ever happened to me. You're stealing from their future. Oh my god, people are so fucking stupid. Oh, of all the things to say. You know, there's certain things on the internet you should say, and there's certain things on the internet you shouldn't say. Your dick's burning. You invested your child's future in an agreement that you had no actual contract in, and say things on social media that would then void said contract to begin with. Just certain things, folks. Just be smart about what you do in life, because as somebody has now recently learned, they fucked themselves royally. And in fact, some of you may not realize how bad they fucked themselves, where the person that they're trying to sue, they may owe them money. That's the best part. Some of y'all probably didn't know that, did you? Yes. But wait, there's more. So anyway, on to topic du jour. No, Stizer won't be moderating this or anything else in the fucking future. So, Mr. Cruz, what you got for us today, man? Oh, I almost forgot, folks. Almost forgot. Oh, look at me. Oh, man. Silly, bad Dragnauct. Bad Dragnauct.
Nathaniel. No, so you make three specific arguments for the existence of God. A creative argument, an argument for design, and an argument for morality. I, first off, would like to try and take down the argument on morality. Go ahead. Because it's not actually an argument for the existence of a God, it's the argument for the fact that we should have an idea of an existence of a God, because otherwise there would be no moral basis from which we could sit on. And I disagree with that because I feel that humans are inherently altruistic and moral. Okay, all right, so stop there for just a second, Nathaniel. What do you mean by altruistic and moral? We are giving and we care about each other. Why is that good? Why is that good? Because it helps our species survive. Why is it good to survive? Because then we can propagate and move on as a species and continue to exist. So why is that a good thing? Who said? Why is that a good thing? Yeah. Because that is what it is. Well, it is. That's not an ought, though. Stalin would say, fine, Nathaniel, I'm going to survive by killing you and taking your stuff. Why is he wrong? Because Stalin would have the initial urge not to. He would feel that the inherent urge of humans is to be caring for one another. There are situations where humans will not be caring about one another, and those are exceptional. But because humans are inherently altruistic, his first urge would be to take care of the person or try and help them. But
well, this isn't my particular favorite atheist argument for morality. There's more. So if y'all ever listen to me argue, and I'm not listening to this just to give you guys a notice, but something tells me that Mr. Cruz thinks that whoever this, I have no idea who's debating right now, but I honestly and inherently disagree with their every human is altruistic. I don't think that at all. I think we are self-centered and that we understand utility and helping one another. And that's kind of where my morality comes from as far as a social contract. Some of you actually heard me lay out my moral argument. It doesn't sound anything like this at all. And then this is Frank Turek. Okay. And Frank Turek versus who? Nicola, because you probably seen this. Yeah. I don't know too many atheists who actually posit that, because I think he's about to run into the is-ought problem. I think that's actually what was referenced, was the is-ought problem. Don't quote me on that, but this is probably one of the weaker arguments I've actually heard. And so, again, if you listen to shitty atheist arguments and presume that all atheists or just all non-Christians think like that, then it's like listening to a Calvinist and saying, well, you know what? The tulip is what all Christians think.
If he has some motivation against that, then he would no longer have that urge, and he would decide that he wants to kill them because he has a reason to. Well, again, I think you're begging the question as to what altruism is. Why is taking care of others a good thing if there is no God? That's your opinion. Is there an external referent, an authoritative, unchanging referent that you're getting that opinion from, which makes it objective, or is it just something you feel? Humans, so if you take it from the standpoint...
So, yeah, this does sound like a college student, because he's the criteria laid out by what I'm guessing is Turek is ridiculous. I'm not sure why you need an unchanging, objective lawgiver, and I'm not sure how edicts from an entity are then objective, but maybe we have different definitions of objective. That somehow, I'm going to presume, is not the college student's position, because now he's arguing from Turek's position, which is, hey, if you didn't start from there with laying out, well, you know what? Yeah, that's my stipulation for altruism too. That's how I would qualify altruism. I don't think that he would, but he probably didn't think about it. The guy sounds a little bit unpolished, but unless you are kind of familiar with this sort of, I don't want to call it a setup, but it kind of is a setup. It's a technique. When you pack into your premise so many presumptions and then require somebody to then go out and satisfy that, when that's not a position that they personally laid out, it's a little bit of a dick move. I understand why Turek's trying to do that, but I would contest the fuck out of that. Like, hold on my second, bro. But to be fair, this whoever the college student is put himself in that position. So yeah.
That this is something that is consistent throughout humanity, that we care about one another, then we could superpose that as a moral impulse that we have. Okay, let me agree with you. I think we do have a moral impulse. And that's exactly what C.S. Lewis said in The Abolition of Man, when he looked at all the diverse cultures and he said, they agree on basic morality. Now, how do you explain that basic morality? Well, there's maybe different ways to explain it, but some will say that's because God has written it on our hearts. But the issue isn't how we know it. The issue is, why is altruism, as you put it, or caring for one another, a good thing? Who said? It's not necessarily who said, it is what is. We are altruistic. There is no need for someone to say that it is a good thing. It is what we are.
That's just a claim, man. You can't challenge him on making claims when you just making claims. Now, here's what I wants to see, folks. Here's what I want to see. This just sounds like just idiocy back and forth, but that's fine. I want to see where Mr. Cruz is digging into the meat and potatoes of this argument here, okay? I want to see what he gathers from what Mr. Frank Turek is saying here. Does he understand the position that Mr. Turek is trying to put forth here?
Hitler or Stalin comes along and says, I don't want to be altruistic, I want to be selfish and take everything for myself, and if I have to kill you to do that, I'm going to do that. Why is that objectively wrong? Because he's not taking care of other people. Who said it's... Where are you getting this standard this objective standard that you ought to take care of people? Where does that come from if there's no God? So I'm just going to talk about a little example that I know of and some others. So there's 3 different points I'd like to make. First off, we still exist.
Just skip the subject.
If we did not take care of each other as a social species, we would have very, very limited capabilities of still existing. We need to band together. We need to take care of each other. We need to be friendly to one another. That's presupposing that survival is a good thing. Why is it a good thing? And why us surviving? Why not roaches? Or antelope? Or black widow spiders? Why do you need the concept of good there? We're still surviving, and we're being nice, kind to each other. We're being caring for one another. Forgive me, Nathaniel, but you're stealing the standard of goodness from God's universe to try and make your worldview work. But if there is no objective, authoritative moral...
I didn't realize that Christianity had a monopoly on morality. That's news to me. I must have missed the trademark there.
...standard beyond us, then atheism doesn't work. You know, I think you're right. There is something to that. The idea of good and evil is in a lot of ways a religious concept. But why do we need that? Well, it depends on what you mean by religion. I'm just talking, we can leave religion out of it, it's a loaded term. Let's just say the source, ontologically, which means the study of being. Where does morality come from? Are you an atheist? Yes. Okay, are you a materialist? No. Okay, so you believe in immaterial reality, that's good. How do you explain immaterial reality if there is no God? Could you define immaterial reality? Oh, let's just take the laws of morality. It's right to take care of people, it's right to love, it's
Never mind. I'm not going to say.
Wrong to murder. Where does that come from? That's something that is ingrained in us in our behaviors. That's how we know it. And let me agree with you that maybe there are different ways we can come to know it. If evolution is true, maybe evolution has helped bring it to us. Maybe our parents taught it to us. Maybe society taught it to us. However, my question isn't how we know it. My question is, why is it right to love and wrong to murder objectively? Because, you know,
how did we get, like, we went from, like, kind of sort of talking about did y'all, like, we try to slow it down a little. Well, I will slow it down because there's people who talk at regular speed talking. So here we go. Or I should say speaking. We kind of dabbled into a little bit of trying to suss out where, I guess, within regular ethics, like normative ethics, where the college student was, and then it sounded like we started dipping a bit into meta ethics. Did anybody? That maybe it's just me, but it sounded like we started going. Then now we're going to just this tangent on like the source, like the genesis of how us as conscious beings came to value certain attributes like altruism. Like we went from defining it to the genesis of it. Like we've gone all over the fucking place with this conversation, and it doesn't seem like whoever this college student is, and I'm putting in air quotes because I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. It just seems like Turek's leading his ass around and he has no idea where to go. But you know what? That's from inexperience, and it's fine. You take these ass whoopings, no matter. Hey, if you're on my side, people know me by now. You gonna catch that fade. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're doing terrible and you're on my side. Hey, you doing terrible. It is what it is, right? And this guy, whoever this is, I hope he learned from this ass whooping because it's a bad one.
We went to the Nazis, and they said, "Oh, we're just obeying our government." We said, "You had a higher, you had a higher obligation to obey the good rather than your government, and you failed, so you're guilty." So, where does this higher standard come? Where does it come from? What is it ontologically?
So, to some extent, this is an interpretation of, and I'm probably going to screw this up, but this is an interpretation of why we exist. And so we come from a long lineage of life. And so in order to honor that, we must continue to live. And so to be kind is to honor that life that we have. And life is all that we have.
Okay, I agree with what you're saying here, but you're importing terms, moral terms, like honor.
So there's so many places here I would have had to stop the guy, or slow down the conversation, because the second you tell me that as a part of our biological imperative for self-preservation is up on the table, I don't know where to go with you. If you don't want to go start a fucking shotgun, my dude. There's certain things that we can disagree, but I'm sorry. There are just certain biological truths we have it is built within us. Just to give you an example, just to show you I'm not bullshitting. How many of y'all know what a mammalian diving reflex is? Have y'all ever heard of that? Even without us thinking about it, our body preserves our being. The fact that we exist, sure, you can say it's a wonderful, magical, wonderful explosion. What is it? That came from a rock, primordial ooze. All these misrepresentations of known science. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But there is an inherent sense of self-preservation in every living being, even in pseudo-living entities like viral particles. So that's not up for debate. That is a biological fact devoid of any philosophical trappings. Now you can you can attach whatever you want to it, but that is an actual fact, right? If you want to argue, why should the propagation of human beings be on the forefront of our minds? Why should that be something that we should look forward to, and then give reasons as to, well, you know what, there's war. Well, you know what, we're actually impacting this environment. Okay, absolutely. We can then segue into eugenics. That's fine. Like, if you want to discuss that, but we're not going to sit here and pretend like there is no biological imperative that is literally hardwired into us for us to survive, just on an individual basis, not for not for your children, not for your spouse, for yourself. Now, of course, there are people who are the exception to that rule, and they don't have that. That is cool, but the exceptions don't make the rules, and we know that. That is just absolutely ridiculous. So the fact that Turk would feel the need to go there, I find ridiculous and almost insulting. Absolutely. But, hey, I want to see what Mr. Cruz, because you notice I'm stopping the video. I'm giving my input on both of these guys because I think they're both making stupid fucking points. But why am I picking on Jesse Lee Peterson's brother? Because he needs to catch these hands. That's why, figuratively speaking. I want to hear what Mr. Cruz has to say about this, because we've mentioned the is-ought problem, we mentioned ontology, we've mentioned meta-ethics, we've mentioned the very topics he said he didn't need to learn about, didn't we? Didn't we cover that, folks? Didn't he say that he didn't have to learn all that stuff, but here he is listening to a debate where they're literally fucking discussing it? That's so strange to me. If you don't care about this shit, why would you listen to two random motherfuckers talking about it? I don't care about gay sex. I just like watching two dudes fuck each other. God damn. Like, he can't stay consistent for nothing. Like, I don't get it. Like, please explain this to me. I can't wait until you weigh in on this discussion, Mr. Cruz. I want to be enlightened. Help me, Mr. Life Application Officer. Tell me why I needs to, and everybody else needs to listen to you contradict yourself. Please.
And good into an atheistic system that has no way to ground those moral terms. That's my point. Let me ask you another question. I'm going to ask you the question I said I would ask you. If Christianity were true, would you become a Christian?
Yes.
Great. If I give you a book, would you read it?
I'm a busy person. But if you give it to me, I would take a look.
You'll take a look. If you read it, I'll give it to you. It doesn't seem like you're that interested in it.
If you give me your email, I'll tell you that I read it.
You'll tell me what?
I'll tell you that what I read about and what I thought about it.
Oh, that's fine. I'll give you my email as long as you read it.
All right.
All right, done. See me later. Thank you.
Atheists, this is Leroy Cruz, Life Applications Officer, by the way. Atheists are getting more and more religious every day. I mean, this guy walked up. I knew he was an atheist. I could look at him and tell that he was an atheist. He had that slash thinking about stuff that's just typical too much to... I could put on a dress in 5 minutes I must have had to go to college and get a degree, because what else am I going to do with my life? Like, I'm not going to go out there and do a regular job. I need to go to college so I can do a job where I don't get my hands dirty,
Wow. Awesome. I love that. That's some shade. Let me tell you something, Mr. Cruz. Let me tell y'all actually something for those of y'all who have me on the book face. I was leaving my biochemistry class early today because I was falling asleep and I sit in the front and it's very disrespectful. So I said, let me go ahead and get home early and do this video and then go finish my biochemistry. Now, y'all notice like he could tell this guy's an atheist because he could possibly go put on a dress. Or I was like, the first thing I think about when I'm looking at another dude is not him in a dress, but we'll touch that later. As I was walking down from the second floor, where the auditorium is, let's just say lecture room, not the auditorium, lecture room for biochemistry, skinny black dude, looks kind of young. Guy's named Randall. He says, "Hey, sir, could I talk to you for a second? I've never seen this kid before. I noticed he has on the school shirt. He has a clipboard on. He looks fresh. He looks like." Young. I don't know how else to describe. I didn't imagine him in a dress. He's just like a young cat. And so he was like, "Are you a doctor?" And I was like, "The fuck, like a doctor? What the fuck I look like?" I literally, I put my shirt in the dirty clothes because it was dirty, and I had on my Black Non-Believers shirt on. If you have not seen the Mandisa Thomas's Black Non-Believers group, I had that on. And so I'm like, I don't look like a goddamn doctor. I don't think, but I was like, no. I was like, why would you say that? Oh, I just remember seeing something with you, and you look like a doctor. And I was like, oh, he must have been talking about the advertisement where I'm in my lab coat. I showed some of you the advertisement that I did for the university where I'd say, hi, my name is Alfred Mims. I used to be a combat medic in the Army, and I try to hold back a laugh. And I go into the type of research that I'm trying to go into. And so he saw that, and then I guess he didn't catch that I'm just an undergrad. And so all he remembered was me in a lab coat talking about cancer. And so he, I explained, I was like, no, man, I'm just an undergrad. What's going on? And so he actually said, you know what? I saw that, and that inspired me. It's good that, you're here and that the school, lets you represent, because we need other folks like us, here. I'm a business major, but it is really inspiring to see, one of us actually doing something, so that lets us know that we can do that too. We want to be like, and that was touching. Like I don't get that very often at all, not anymore at least. And he actually, spotted me just coming down the stairs randomly and told me that I inspired him as a business major. I'm like, I was gonna say, man, you need to switch your major, do something with your life, but I wasn't gonna crush his dreams. But that's it's something, it's a small thing, and that's why I go out and I, put my face on a billboard and do advertisements and stuff like that. Is so that yes, people like us, yes, people like us can be scientists. Yes, we can be intellectuals. Yes, we can be scholars. That is absolutely true. You just have to put your mind to it. You have to have a good support system too. But this ignorant bullshit is what I'm talking about here. This is the antithesis of everything that young man was saying to me. Mr. Cruz, let me go get something real quick, folks. Let me show you something, Mr. Cruz. Let me show you. Let me get my fat ass up real quick. Let me show you something, Mr. Cruz. Where is it? There it is. There we go. Okay. I found it. All right, Mr. Cruz. Let me show you something real special, all right? All right. Now, Mr. Cruz, this is a Pikachu suit, okay? This is a Pikachu. Have you put on a Pikachu suit before, Mr. Cruz? Have you? This Pikachu suit, this Pikachu suit is very special. Only those who have gone to the Indigo Plateau are able to wear the Pikachu suit. How do you know how hard I've worked? I've beaten Team Rocket. I have beaten Giovanni. I've beaten Brock, Misty. I've gotten all 151 Pokemon. How dare you, sir? How dare you say that I have not worked hard, worked with my hands? You know how hard it is to beat my rival and have him show up randomly? Do you know? So y'all wasn't expecting that shit, were you? On a serious note, Mr. Cruz, this is what I actually was going to show you. So when you tell me, still smells like the desert, when you tell me about not getting a real job and hard work, I don't want to hear a goddamn thing that you got to say until you shit in the desert, all right? I don't want to hear shit from you. So I put in my hard work, and I continue to put in hard work. Hard work doesn't just involve working with your hands. I did plenty of that. Plenty of that for quite a few number of years, even before then. So the fact that you think that hard work only revolves around physical tasks tells me that you don't have the intellectual, let's say, acumen to actually do any of the stuff that I've ever done. It just in the last 20 years alone. So please don't make that mistake, Mr. Cruz. Yes, some of us go to school to literally try and cure cancer. Hi, my name's Dragnauct. That's literally why I'm in school. So maybe you should probably get outside of that comfort zone that I keep mentioning, that cloistering that you tend to do. Because I guarantee you, I want you to go and talk to someone who does cancer research. Or you could just find, it's probably easier to find an oncologist, a doctor that specializes in cancer. It's a difference. Go talk to an oncologist and ask him, when he works with his fellows who are cancer researchers, ask them, do they do hard work? I want you to query them on that. What do you think is hard work when it comes to trying to figure out how your own body is killing you? Do you not think that that's hard work? I want you, Mr. Cruz. How about this? I will do your funky ass job for an entire week, but I want you to sit in my biochemistry classes, and I want you to sit in my biochemistry labs, everything, seminar in biology. I want you to sit in those for a week. All you gotta do is sit there and pretend like you know something, and I'll do your funky ass job any day of the week. Because I guarantee you that one of us can survive in both of those arenas while one of us would struggle. Okay? I don't want to ever hear you try and denigrate anyone seeking higher education because you failed at it. That's all.
They just all got that look about themselves, you know. But Frank Turek, I'm not really impressed with Frank Turek. Frank Turek, I love some things he says. Some things he says, I think that he is making it harder to get his point across.
So, just to get back to the topic, god damn, there's a lot of people in Discord. Shit, what the fuck are y'all doing down there? Y'all see this down here? What is all this going on? What the fuck are y'all talking about? Huh? Y'all talking about me? I will kick all of y'all out. All of you. You hear me? Anyway. Mr. Turek brought up some interesting points. Disagree with them. He tried to bring in the is-op problem, albeit not the way that he should have, but at least he's somewhat familiar with the lingo, with some of the concepts. He was trying to engage this young man to get him to justify why altruism was something that we should value. That's a legitimate question. If that is the crux of this young man's argument, then sure, have him justify it. That's not an issue. Now, how he went about it is probably a little bit dickish, but that's fine. That is absolutely fine. And Frank Turek has reason to. It was literally, like I said, it was the crux of the guy's argument. But I want you, Mr. Cruz, to specifically name something that Turek brought up and how you would fix it. Not just, well, I didn't like that. Don't just give it this surface level, well, he was using these terms and that kind of got in the way of talking like real folks kind of bullshit that I think you're about to do.
You know what I'm saying? He just makes it difficult. But, you know, I like some things he says. I really don't agree with his book. Now, I haven't read the book. I just don't like the title. It takes faith to be an atheist.
Wait, what? Wait, I don't like the book. Oh, you read it? No, I don't like the title. That has got to be some of the dumbest shit I done heard this week. I don't like the book because of the title. I don't like the wine because of the name. And you know who you are. And you know what I'm referencing. I don't like the mug because it said drop it like it's hot. This is absolute madness. You've not even read the damn book. How would you know that you don't like it? That's what children say. Children. Fuck the title. That could be, I don't know, a sub-point underneath a greater point. How about this? This is a crazy idea. How about this? I don't know about y'all. How about you read the fucking book first, and then you find his central thesis, maybe related to the title, maybe not. Then you go, this faith that he's talking about, I see in chapter 4 he really gets into it. So the point that he was making about this faith is a conflation of terms. The word faith is polysemous. The atheist is talking about this, he's talking about that, and when he referenced it in the book title, I think it's misleading. That's something to bring up. That's something that would require you to read the damn book. Oh my God. Fucking hell. About to go live with this. Rabbi Lewis wrote a book he dedicated. Wait, he wrote a book and he dedicated it to me? Is it How to Make Myself Look Fucking Stupid in 20 Minutes? Is that the book? Oh my goodness. Rabbi Lewis needs some pills. I actually spoke to a Christian after that conversation. I had to. I had to talk to this Christian. I said, hey, my Christian friend, you know this is Rabbi Lewis? I'm not kidding. I said, is Rabbi Lewis retarded? And I'm not going to tell you what this very, very Christian man told me, because it was derogatory. It wasn't very Christian-like, but it was honest. Rabbi Lewis can go write some more books. That's what he can do. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I hate the Godfather movie. I ain't never seen him. I hate him. Godfather. God and Father. Like, I told y'all this dude was, like, he's allergic to actually learning stuff. Like, how are you, I could see if he was going to comment on a point that Turk made, like, in the debate that, like, we just listened to, he said nothing about, he's not specifically identified anything that Turk has said at all. And then he references Turk's book and just says that he doesn't like the title. So what are you paying attention to exactly? What specifically do you want? And this is funny. This is our life applications officer who's going to tell you about life, but he won't actually understand the points that Turk is making in real time, and nor is he actually going to read anything from fucking Turk. But he's going to give you recommendations on what to do with your life. How about you start with, I don't know, reading, educating yourself before you have an opinion on something. Because it's clear you had no idea what these folks are talking about. I'm just saying.
Or I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. That's got to be the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. That's like somebody saying, I don't have enough facial hair, okay, to get a girlfriend. Or I don't play enough PlayStation games, okay, to know anything about computers, you know.
So I don't know what it is with Mr. Cruz and analogies, but they ain't getting along. If y'all didn't know that Mr. Cruz is on, he's on PlayStation Network. For those of y'all who have PS4s, it's Cruising for Dick 999.
That's just me, okay? But an atheist in the next video said he did read his book. He talked to him about some of the things in his book. Okay, and I'm gonna turn this off.
So rather than reading the book himself, he's gonna listen to an atheist tell him about the book that he himself didn't read. Okay.
And let it play. He talked about some of the things in his book on one of his other videos, or on this video here that's rolling. He talks about, one of the guys tells him, I've read your book, I'd like to talk to you about some of the things in your book. But we're talking about the subject of the morality of God. The morality of God, you must understand, and I'll read verses maybe in the next, if I don't do it in this one, I'll read verses in the next part 2 of this, but I know I'm going to have to do a part 2. But, first of all, the Ten Commandments were written for the Jews. They weren't written for Christians, okay? And people in the Old Testament didn't follow the Ten Commandments any more perfectly than we do today in modern time. However, the Ten Commandments were given to Moses by God. Moses didn't make them up. By Moses' time, there was other civilizations that made laws, okay, to run their communities. But the Ten Commandments is what separated the people of Israel from the rest of the world. And not only the Ten Commandments, but there's more laws than the Ten Commandments. To get a complete description of all the laws that were given to Moses, and the laws that Moses gave to the Christian people, that we, today in the New Testament, we look up to both the laws that were given to Moses by God and the laws that Moses gave to the people to keep the people in line. It all comes from God, because God and Moses had it like that. Okay, they had it like that. A couple of illustrations here. I'm going to show you in real time, in everyday life, how, Christians, they try to, like these apologists.
Actually, Sabella, I was wondering, based on just, it makes me wonder if he thinks we're in the new covenant or the old covenant. I'm kind of, does anybody, maybe it's just me, but does he think we're still in the time of the old covenant?
Like Frank Turek and different ones, they try to tell you as an atheist how God is moral and how God is, God's form of morality beats the morality that coexists among humans. Now, let me first of all say that God's standard of morality is for his people. So when we become Christians, we are stepping away from the morality that we understand is moral and good. We're stepping away from that to the supreme shadow of morality, which makes us supreme beings. Let me say that again. When we leave the world and we come into the kingdom of God and we begin to practice his standard of righteousness, our standard of righteousness becomes higher and supreme above the righteousness, the morals, the integrities of the people of the world. Okay? For example, preacher has a beautiful daughter. His daughter goes to a public school. She's getting ready to go into the 9th grade. And just like when my girls were growing up, they went to a public school.
Here we go.
And they wanted to be like the girls in school. The girls in school chasing boys and being chased by boys. And
they're hormones. They're going wild. They got the girls. They see the other girls. They got the skirts. They got the short skirts. Can't have that. It's not Jesus. They see the boys. They get the feelings. Can't do that. Got to be good Christian girls. Can't be doing that with other girls. Getting chased by the boys. Going to bathrooms. Sucking their dicks. Can't be doing that. Don't be doing that. At all. No.
Wearing the skimpy clothes. Skirts all the way up. Tight shorts. Tight spandex, whatever. Couldn't wait to grow a set of breasts before they started exposing them. You know what I'm saying? And I remember a friend of mine when I was a supervisor at the YMCA. I remember a friend of mine who had this, I can say that on this channel, but she had this tight daughter. She was tight from head to toe. Now, women might not know what I mean when I say tight, but the guys know what I'm talking about. She was tight from head to toe, okay? I mean, she was just
a brick house.
Tight, okay? Everything about her was just tight, okay? Her own mother said the most immoral thing that I ever heard any mother. Now, I used to joke around with her mother because we're adults, and at that time I was like checking her out, even though I know that I should only date Christians. I was checking out this girl's mother. Until her mother said this right here. I was checking out her mother one day, and her mother got offended with me because I told her one day, because she was talking about me going somewhere with her, and I made a sexy comment about, her wearing a bikini, okay, because she wanted me to go someplace with her that was at like some kind of water park or resort or whatever, and I told her I'm not a water freak, but you in a bikini, I was flirting with her, okay, and she got a little bit offended that I said that. And I don't know if she got offended because she thought that she had a complex about what she looks like in a bikini, or if she thought I was being too much of a sexual pervert. I don't know. But after she told me this, I would say...
Does anybody remember the original point? Does anybody remember how this actually started? Because now we're talking about he was a security guard at or a YMCA, and then there was a daughter, and the daughter was tight. I'm wondering... I've noticed he didn't mention the age of the daughter, but, I know not too many adults dropped their adult kids off at the YMCA, but whatever. And he's talking to the mom, and the mom, she looks good. Maybe she's a dime piece, and the mom was talking about going to the water park, and he was like, hey, girl, I want to see that ass and that bikini, though. I don't remember how it started now. I've literally forgotten, because now he's trying to save face because he was caught perving on the mom, and the mom was like, no, Uncle Ruckus, no, we're not going to do that today at all. And so now he's trying to remember the version of the story that doesn't make him seem like a dirty old man. It is what it is. I mean, kind of late for that, but again, what the fuck was the point?
Had a low self-esteem about what she looked like in a bikini, but me being a guy where we undress women with our eyes, I knew that...
Look, that's fine. People have seen my lab partner. I have seen her titties. Yeah, well, okay, let me rewind. I have seen the outside of her breasticles on her chesticles, okay? Yes, but that doesn't mean we need to have a conversation about it at all at any given time. would rather talk about why she doesn't come to class, because I love to mess with her about that, because it's fucking funny. There's no reason to be like that. Awesome. You know what? As a man, I got you. I love titties. I love all types of titties. Huge titties, not really, but you know what? Decent titties. But just, there's no, like, come on. Something tells me you were being a bit extra. That's the fact that you hemming and hawing about this story, about this bikini, tells me it wasn't just the way that you said it, because I guarantee you if she told her version of the story, it'd be quite a bit different. Mrs. D likes titties too, so there you go.
I know she looks good in a bikini, okay? But it was a day later or that, after that event, where me and her were tripping about her wearing a bikini, that she was talking to somebody about her daughter, and I happened to walk up, and I was just eavesdropping on a conversation because I had some things to do here at the desk.
How about do your job?
After the other lady left, she says to me, she says, I worry about my daughter. And I says, well, I said, you know, and me and her both, like, at that time, my girls and her daughter, she had a little boy and a teenage daughter. I had two daughters that went to school with her daughter. And my daughters were age apart, a year apart. And they were all headed for middle school, okay? But the little boy was getting ready to, they were all hitting, they're all hitting high school. And the little boy was getting ready to hit middle school. So she says to me, she's talking about her daughter, and she says, well, I got on my daughter about her dress apparel and stuff. We had a debate. We had to talk about it. And I says, yeah, your daughter dresses very tight. She knew what I meant. She says, yeah. She says, but you know what I've been thinking? You know, and she wasn't talking about her daughter's attitude, too. She says, you know what? I've been thinking. If I looked like her, I would probably dress like that too. And if I looked like her, I would probably act like her too. So the mom is taking lessons from her daughter.
No. So let me translate woman to you, okay? Let me translate, and there are women in the chat, so let me know if I get this right, especially you women who are moms. I understand and empathize with my daughter as a fellow vagina holder. I understand that the attention that she gets is a part of her identity as a sexual being, and I understand her as her own independent young woman realizing her own sexuality and how it's expressed and the mentality that comes with it. That to me sounds like what the mother was actually saying. It didn't sound like she was, for some reason, like taking lessons from her. It sounds like she understood, because, and I'm just going to, at my understanding of how, I guess, linear time works, she at one point was a young woman too. Just huge fucking shock here. Maybe at one point, the mom who looked good in a bikini at some point in time was her daughter's age and looked very similar. Just saying. Now, I know some of y'all commenting on the high school girl, the daughter who was in high school, and his comments towards that, and I can only guess why he's no longer working at the YMCA, but I'm gonna leave that alone. So, bottom line is, it's weird how he kind of won't check his own mentality when it comes to sexuality and other people's expression of it, but, you know, he has this really interesting opinion of other folks. You know, right? Like, does anybody notice, like, the emphasis is really on other people and their perspectives of sexuality and sexual orientation and sexual expression, but he won't for a second reflect on kind of some of the shit that I've been listening to for the last, because you think about this, if your supervisor were to hear you saying like shit like this, do you think that he's gonna go, oh no, that's a good Christian man, that's a man that I want to trust around folks? But we're here talking about morality. We're here talking, that's the topic here, right? I find that really ironic that it didn't hit him in the head, but maybe he'll watch this and go, man, I really did sound bad. Man, I probably should. Man, there is a bit of irony there of me saying those things and then denouncing what the mother said. Because what the mother said was milquetoast compared to what I'm hearing now, in all honesty. I mean, if you just so happen to see an attractive young woman under the age of 18, okay, there we go. You walked outside. Congratulations. But it being me, unless that mother came up to me and said, hey, can you make sure my teenage daughter isn't going off behind bathrooms and dumpsters getting railed? I don't have a point in that conversation, because no. And no, for obvious reasons. That ain't your damn child. It ain't your job to comment on somebody else's tight teenage daughter. I'm glad that you noticed that she's developing probably the same way her mother's developing. But if you were trying to make a point about the language and what turned you off, I would probably say the fact that the fact that it's, and I almost forgot about, you said that she got offended by the way that you were talking about her in the bikini. I'm pretty sure it might have been something to do with some other things that were said, because there's something to the story. Again, in all these stories that I hear, it feels like there's something being left out. Because if a woman generally, and here we go, I'm going to talk for women again. I'm going to speak for women. If a woman is if a woman feels comfortable enough to talk to you about, her body and dressed in a certain way, that's a certain level of comfortability that they get in order for them to do that, typically. But that's not an opening for you to try and say, can I see what's in them jeans? That's not an opening for that at all. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I learned something the last 30 years. I don't know.
And her mom is exposing herself that she is naive and immature about women, young girls in school and in the workplace. Because the morality of God, the morality of the world, at least I thought it was not about being immodest and calling it good, or being immodest and calling it the way of the world, the way we're supposed to do it, okay? And as she was telling me this, I really felt bad that I ever teased her about me seeing her in a bikini, because I realized that her mindset, okay, I'm having adult conversations with her, but she's a disciple of her own daughter, whom she lacks the ability to control. The preacher has a beautiful daughter. Tells his daughter, he asks her, where are you going? Dressed like that. Well, I'm going with my friend. We're going to a party. Dad already knows that he's a Christian. Christians don't go to parties. The definition of a party for a Christian is different than the definition of a party for a kid that's not growing up in a Christian home. So he starts talking to his daughter about, well, at least come in the house and change clothes. No, Dad. And they get in an argument about it. Mom has to come out and ask Dad to calm down. She sends Dad back in the house. Mom calms the daughter down and says, sweetheart, you know what you've been taught. You know all we do, we just love you. We just want to protect you. Please be careful. Have fun at the party, but please be careful. But this daughter, she is the preacher's daughter. She's in a youth group where they party all the time. They just don't party the way people in the world party. They don't get their party tips off of Beyonce and Jay-Z. There ain't going to be no tip drill songs played at a Christian party.
Tip drill. Man, he went... wife's home. Tip drill. He went straight to tip drill. That, y'all know how old that song is? Jesus.
Ain't gonna be like no music that says, it's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes. Ain't gonna be no songs played like that at a Christian party. There's a total difference in what we call a party and what the secular world calls a party. So, but the girl is young. She's young. She's a young child, young girl, and you know what I mean? She's thinking that the boys in school, you know what I mean, aren't paying her enough attention. But she's going to find out years later that Christians don't date secular. They don't date outside the church anyway. But because she's going to a secular school, then she feels that she needs the boys of the secular school, because there's not enough Christians there. Okay? She needs the boys at the secular school to like her and be her friends, even if it means that they want to be her friends because they like the way she looks. So she goes to the party with her girlfriend, who's not a Christian. And the guys immediately start letting her know, girl, I didn't think you had it in you. What's going on, girl? You looking good. Ooh, girl, you looking good. The next thing you know, the party gets started. The drinks come out. Wait a minute, we're old enough to drink? Party comes out. Drinks come out. Somebody back here smoking marijuana. Okay? What's going on? And the girls getting in the middle. They dancing, and the guys getting around. They bumping and grinding with that. Shake it, baby. Shake it, baby. Show me what you're working with. Show me what you're working with. They getting it on. And the Christian girl, she ain't used to going to these kind of parties. So she's starting to feel kind of out of place. So she decides to go hide somewhere and not make herself look so inadequate. She goes over here, and this guy starts whispering stuff into her ear, and, hey, baby, you want to get out of here and do something? Do something like what? What you want to do? Hey, you want another drink? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, I got some weed. You know what I'm saying? Typical thing that we worry about our kids getting into when they go out to a party at a young age. I remember when my daughters were, and I did it, and my daughters got mad at me because I got at the party early. I made sure that when they went to the party that I had to talk with their parents, and I made sure that the parents were at the party with my daughters, that this wasn't a party where people were having a party with no adults supervising. I made sure that I dropped my daughters off so I could get a look at what this party's all about, and I picked them up. My daughters used to get mad when I got there early. I said, I'm just sitting in the car. Calm down. Go back and enjoy yourself. I'm just sitting in the car, But
I'm here to suck some dick.
The party got kind of rowdy, got kind of wild. Preacher's daughter told her girlfriend, I want to leave because the guys in the party were just starting to act like perverts. And she said, oh, come on, we only got a couple more hours left. Can't you do something with yourself for a couple hours? Next thing you know, they're trying to pull girlfriend over here, and she's turning this down, but she's saying, okay, I'll do this. Make a long story short, pretty soon, disaster happens. Some people snuck out of the party. Things start to get quiet. The police get called.
Not even one
Detective
marijuana.
Benson and Detective Elliott and Ice-T show up at the party. And they go talking about a rape kit. Asking questions. Who did this to you?
Did he just...
Okay.
Did he narrate...
Will be shot.
Did he narrate an episode of the beginning of Law and Order SVU to us? We sat literally through about 10 minutes of him narrating the beginning of any episode of Law and Order SVU. Really? Really? That's a good troll. That's you know what? If he is trolling the shit out of me, you know what? Good troll, my dude. I give you that one. I will give you that. If that was an actual troll towards me, but not towards me, but kind of toward me, or maybe just kind of sort of, that's a good fucking troll. Because I was getting tired of listening to this shit.
For the rest of their lives. Because somebody didn't listen to her parents. And one didn't want to leave when things got rowdy. she didn't want to leave. But she wanted the attention that can only be given when we step away from what is true and right. You want attention. It's like that video. I did a video on Ari Spears, where Ari Spears, in order for him to become one of the world's best comedians, best black comedians, Ari Spears, when he was barely in high school,
how we get on this topic?
He stripped on stage in front of a bunch of teenagers, as well as a bunch of older women that should have been chaperoning this. They were getting turned on by it with the young teenage girls. But you ask Ari Spears, is he a moral person? Of course he is. He's not a rapist. He don't shoot nobody.
But
he's a moral person.
What does this have to do?
Did what he did. Now,
did I miss something?
The preacher has to not only watch his daughter live a life coming up that she wasn't meant to live. I imagine she might have became an atheist. Okay, I don't know. But as Christians, we would have never, ever let our daughters or our children, period, do certain things.
Does anybody know, like, a preacher or a pastor's daughter or son that did not come out fucked up? Because I actually did grow up with he is, the guy that I grew up with was our pastor's son, and just, you know, he had a lot of opportunities. Actually, a lot of opportunities that I didn't have, actually, to begin with. But mom is, you know, graduate level education, very successful woman. Dad, you know, someone he makes, you know, upper middle class, you know, not bad at all. And he wants to be a thug. Like that's his life. He little bird's chest, you know, he throws a punch, he shatters his humorous owner, everything. And it's just, that's the life he wants to live, no matter if they actually try to instill Christian values in him. He lived with the pastor. And it just seems like actually the one of the daughters of the church that I used to go to, the Pentecostal church, she ended up getting pregnant as a teenager, along with everybody, all the suckler people who didn't go to the church. I mean, it just, like, you can say that his daughter came out to be a homosexual, you know. So I'm not sure what you're trying to prescribe, but I don't think it's working. That's just me. It seems like, though, like the more that you try to tell people that their natural urges, when I say natural urges, they're like expressions of sexuality with consenting other individuals in the same age, you're trying to tell them that shit's evil, and that probably fucks with their head. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm pretty sure that we are supposed to be sexual beings within reason, but telling folks that that's not cool and that's not natural, and you just pray it away, and then all that kind of stuff, that fucks with people's head. You can't put someone's raging hormones in a jar and then tell them to poof it away. It doesn't work like that, as you see.
Because we know the implications that can happen when you cross the line. We know where the line is. Okay? And when I was in church camp, we didn't even practice swimming with the girls. And I remember the guys on the bus, we would let the girls swim first, and then we would go back to the campground and pick up the guys. The guys, all these guys, go to church. They're in this camp because they go to church somewhere, okay? They're standing up in the bus, trying to look over this wall and see if they recognize any of the girls from camp, which one has the hottest bodies, okay?
Teenage boys with teenage boys? Don't tell me.
There were some of us that just sat there like, ain't we supposed to be in church camp? Like, what's the point in separating the boys and the girls if all we're going to do is try to, like, take sneak peeks? And there were guys that when we got there, they would try to run into the parlor where the girls were leaving the pool to get in. And you know what? There were times when it was we got a big laugh, because if a girl was late leaving the pool, she had to come out to the lobby and go around to get into the main shower area. And so 100 male students, 100 male campers seeing this one precious little thing come out there going, oh, excuse me. And she, and most of these girls didn't wear bikinis. They wore bathing suits. Now, to me, that's nothing to be ashamed about. But the thing is, them wearing even bathing suits, because them growing up in a Christian home where we don't practice, unisex swimming. We practice, the boys swim separately from the girls. And we,
don't want them looking at each other's parts. That would be naughty. Tell them what's down there. You tell them what's down there, and they're going to get curious. They're going to want to look at it. What's that? What's that, Cletus? Is that your vagina? Why don't you have one like me, Cletus?
That's the way it is. So girls are very shy and very, very innocent about being seen with their naked hips showing, because they're not used to that. And I believe there's something good about that, okay?
Naked hips.
Here's another illustration that'll hit home on clothing.
Solar plexus.
Before I watched these couple of Frank Turk videos, I watched a video, Keeping Up with John Jones on the MMA. Now, I've done a video about how I feel about MMA.
Don't let her calcaneus be showing. Don't let that calcaneus be showing. That's what leads you to hell. All them naked hip bones. You see the top of her, piece of her ilium. I had to actually remember like this. Is it ischium? Yeah, I think it's ischium and then the ilium. I want to say if I think I probably got it confused. But the top of that thing up there, gonna be showing that hip. Oh, you going to hell? Going to hell. Going to hell.
I watch certain MMA stars fight. One thing that's always troubled me about MMA is that...
Stop. I swear to fucking God, if you say some gay shit about two dudes fighting each other, I'm turning this goddamn video off right now. Please, for the love of everything that is in your religion, do not say some really gay shit about two grown-ass men trying to kill each other. I've watched quite a few MMA videos my damn self, participated in what you could consider MMA stuff for the army. I swear to fucking God, if you say some gay shit, I'm turning this bitch off. And that's it. I'm done for the rest of the day. Do not, and I mean do not say some gay shit. Oh, every time he gets into a story and it involves a guy, there's always some gay shit. Almost every single time, without fucking fail, he says some gay shit. Yes, I was a combat medic in the Army.
You're allowed to do certain things to win. Okay? And if you knock your opponent on the ground, you're allowed to do certain things to him or her on the ground, but he cannot do it back to you because you're already on the ground. He's not allowed to do it. Okay?
You can get in their fucking guard.
Somebody got me down on the ground and they're hurting me. Okay? I'm going to do certain things to get him off me.
You can get, hey, he's
but
in your
guard. But once they get you down on the ground, you can't, grab him by the throat. Anytime I've been in a fight, a guy got me down on the ground one time, and I sucked the air out of him. I grabbed him by the nose. Okay?
Why would you do that? That's fucking stupid.
Guy got me down on the ground, I grabbed his throat. And then I rolled over on top of him. You can't do that in MMA.
Why? For one thing, so rather than getting control of the things that are hurting you, like his arms, you're gonna reach up and expose this whole side of your fucking face to an attack to go for his nose? Really? Why? Why not get him off of you by shifting his weight, by grabbing one of those flaily things that keep hitting you in the face? I'm just saying, if the flaily things keep coming at you, grab it. Get control of it. Flip his ass over. Maybe those of us who have just a modicum of training in this weird Brazilian jiu-jitsu Fudanari stuff, maybe some of us just can recognize that. But his nose, I would have beat the shit out of you the second you went for my neck. Because all you have to do, folks, if anyone ever tries to grab you by the neck, or tries to put you in a full Nelson, have your chin hit your chest, right down in here. You see? Right down in here, y'all see that? Just put it down like that so they can't actually secure it. He's going to have a fun time trying to choke you like that. It's really hard for somebody to choke you if your chin's already down. I would have beat him in the fucking head if he tried that shit. Because think of the flaily thing is coming at you. You might want to take one of your flaily things and protect yourself at some point. Especially if you get somebody in your fucking guard. But whatever, right? Please continue.
So John Jones, he goes after the guy's feet. He goes after him really, really hard. He fought Belfort. 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 He went after him in the first round, and he got him down, and he elbowed him in the face. Now, these gloves are put on their hands so that they're not as dangerous a blow when you get hit in the face, and they also wear a mouthpiece. But when someone's hitting you with the elbow, common sense tells us that this ear position is not as bad as this position. If you can hit somebody in the elbow, and you don't know how many fights I've won using my elbow. Okay? First time I hit somebody in the face with my elbow, the fight was just about over. Okay? John Jones knew what he was doing, and he came in and he kept hitting the guy in the face with the elbow. The guy started bleeding very, very easily. The floor got bloody. I mean, it just got bloody. And I know a Christian that believes in taking kids, young boys, to see an MMA fight.
You goddamn right. You go take a young boy to see. You know what? You know what you also take a young boy to go do? Fish. You know what you take a young boy to do? Hunt. You go take him to show him what fucking life is like. That's what do you think happens in Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts? You will go and you will kill shit in front of the kids. Just if y'all never actually done any stuff in the woods. You will actually, I stabbed, when I took my son fishing, when I still take him fishing, I will stab the fish in the head. Like, son, this is what happens. This is what happens, son. How do you think? You like them catfish nuggets? You like them catfish nuggets? Let me show you how I make them catfish nuggets. That's reality. That is reality. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. What I tell you know what? If it's especially brutal, it depends. But usually MMA fights aren't that bloody. Somebody might get a bloody, but what exactly are you trying to keep them from? Let's think about this. You're keeping him away from seeing two people fight. Something that he can see on a Little League. Was a story about a bunch of adults fighting in a Little League tournament, baseball, whatever. And what did people see? They saw adults hitting each other. Kids watch Power Rangers and shit all day. Hit each other. They watch any cartoon at any point in time where someone's going to hit somebody else. So the only thing that they're not seeing is blood. I'm pretty sure kids have seen a bloody nose before. They probably had a few. What exactly are they being exposed to? Except this, son, is violence. Yes. Do you want to get hit in the face like that? No. Then guess what? Here's a good life lesson. You can be like daddy, and you can talk your way out of situations, or you can not be like daddy and get your face beat in. The choice is yours, son. And that's a life lesson, folks. That is a life lesson. And that's a real life example of what can happen. You can't have your kid, all of us who are parents can tell our kids don't go play in the street, but you can't throw them in the street as a car is coming so they experience what it's like getting hit by a car. It doesn't work that way. But you can show them, you know what? Instead of trying to be aggressive with everyone and take what you want and not try to use your words and not try to come to an understanding, verbalize your disdain for somebody rather than just lashing out, you can show them the result of someone will whoop your ass very easily. So life is like a box of chocolates. Sometimes one of them will whoop your ass. So as a parent, yes, you don't know what the kids are being taught. Yes, Christian parents, because Christian parents also serve in the military. Do you not think that they know what their parents do? Their parents, some of their parents go and kill people. So should Christian parents not be soldiers? Should they not be infantry? Like, what exactly is it that that should be precluded from them. Because, mind you, how many of y'all forgot this is the same guy who said that there should be another Crusades? How many of y'all actually, a few videos ago, this is the same guy who wanted the Crusades to come back. But he's upset about Christian parents bringing their kids to MMA. Methinks you doth protest too much, thirth. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how, on the one hand, you love violence and it adds to your victim complex in your narrative, and on the other hand, you want to excoriate someone for something that's comparably minor, like just honestly, just not even in the same planet. It's ridiculous. But man, I do notice something. I notice something very interesting that keeps happening. You love to judge other people. You love that. You get off on that. It may be this tiny man complex, I don't know. But you love judging other people. Only if you matched up to some of these judgments and assessments that you give other people. That'd actually be great. If you actually matched up to, if you walk the walk while you talk the talk. That would be awesome, Mr. Cruz.
Giving them tickets to go see an MMA fight when they go to these public schools where they're being bullied all the time. What you need to be teaching these kids is you need to be taking them for some free karate lessons or some free self-defense lessons, okay? Because too many people are learning MMA, okay? And there are people in the military coming out of the military with all these honors, and they become terrorists. There's cops who are using their skills that they learned in the police academy and beyond as a way to hurt and harm innocent suspects. How many of these MMA fighters have been arrested for using the same...
Anybody catch that Freudian slip just now? Thumbs up in the chat if you caught his little Freudian slip.
...amount of deadly force that they use in the ring on their female victim whom they raped. But MMA, God forbid, or should I say the secular world forbid, that I shall ever say anything about MMA or the people that practice MMA. God forbid that I should ever attack martial arts in any way and what martial arts mean to suspects. Because see, you can practice all the Buddhism and yoga, okay, and practice karma all you want to. There is a secular, immoral, criminal side to
practice everything. Karma.
I know people that you can't drink around them because for every drink that you drink, they're going to drink 3. For every bottle of beer that you finish, they're going to drink 3 bottles. So if you drink 2 bottles, they're going to drink 6. I know for every person out here that owns a gun and is well trained in marksmanship, to know how to use his gun, he's got a friend who will not leave that gun at home but take that gun to work with him against the company's policies. He will take that gun everywhere with him. You got people out there that own guns and they have temper problems. I haven't even gone to scripture yet. But the morality of God is no joke. No joke. The Bible says, do not do anything that would make your brother stumble.
Oh, I almost forgot to do something. While we're listening to him ramble about random shit, can y'all tell that he's had some issues with some of his coworkers? Does anybody else get the feeling like he's just, like, this is his way of venting about some of his coworkers? I'm not shitting on him for that. I'm actually not shitting on him for that at all. I just think it's funny because it's kind of obvious at this point. There's clearly someone that he's talking to, or he's referencing, I should say. There are people he's referencing.
So if I eat too much sweets and I only weigh 100 and some pounds, I don't need to be doing that in front of somebody that weighs 300 pounds. She didn't get there, okay, by not eating no sweets. She didn't get there because she was on a diet. She got there because of people like me eating these sweets around her, and then she does the same thing. But anyway, I'll do a part 2 of this. It's very clear to me that God's standard of morality is higher than man's standard of morality. I would have to be crazy in order to really, really, really explain to you God's standard of morality. I would have to be crazy to fulfill it. But the fact is that it is higher, and there is no argument for that. And I'll I'll throw the scriptures in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed night. D. Roy Cruiser, your Life Applications Officer. Thanks.
Oh man. So, okay. we didn't get to the scripture, but I mean, I'm sure that'll be just as enlightening. I forgot what the original point was. I honestly, like, I think he got back on the point at some point, and point this and point break, and I just, what was that video about? Like, does anybody else remember what was it? God's morality versus the good atheist. I don't, like, we heard about his life. Oh, by the way, folks, there's a link in the chat. Go click on that link right now. There's like 70 of y'all. Go click on that link right now and click subscribe and hit the bell, because in about 30 minutes, Sokka Count's going to go live, and he's going to have a nice debate with Sky Out. And so y'all should watch it. I'm going to watch it. Wow. Is it Pledge Week? Sure. If you want. Actually, let me see if this thing is working. There's some links that are in the description of my video, but let me double check. There's one I do not want y'all to click on. I just want to see if it's there. Let me see. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. So the links are there. There are. I know. So, there I need to edit that. Oh wow, yeah, the other link's not working. So, one link is Feed the Fatty, or it's labeled Feed the Fatty. If it's the weekend and I don't have class and y'all want to send me some food to feed my fat ass, there you go. The Cash App, that goes to the wife, because she has a direct link to my account, as she with everything. And so the automated text to speech thing that you sometimes hear, that's that link. And so I know some of you were trying to get your stuff heard, and so that's the link for that. So I need to make sure that that's working, because someone did it the other day, and I think some of you were trying to actually donate to that rather than the other one. That's fine. I think I'm gonna lower the threshold on that. So that if you want, because I know some of y'all just want to donate just to piss G-Man off, and you wanted to say this is just to piss G-Man off. So rather than having me say it, that text-to-speech thing is going to do it. Again, do that at your leisure. No one's required to do that. There was something else I was going to say. Yes, if you heard something about the Magic Sandwich Show, it's probably right. It's in the works. It's coming back. Other than that, folks, did D-Roy watch today? No, he has not watched. So he usually watches in the morning, and since I did this in the afternoon, he's not watching now. I'll check again later, but I don't think that he's watching at this moment, because actually while I was listening to him, I just checked it, and it may not have been updated just yet. Actually, let me double check. Yeah, he's probably not watching now. Yeah, it didn't update. So, or it didn't update. I don't know which. Anyway, so enjoy y'all's points for right now. I'm resetting them at the end of the week. So at the end of the week, also going to be taking Mrs. D to go fishing again. And on that note, I think she's hungry, so we're going to go out and get something to eat again. I do what I can. All right, hope y'all enjoyed that. Y'all have fun.